The gift of modern-day science benefits all of humanity, but what happens when humans finally take it too far?
Science has improved tremendously over the years. A breakthrough of science came in the 90s called genetic engineering. Genetic engineering is the removing of a select genes into a product that is desired to form a new set of DNA. Genetic engineering has impacted plants the most. By 70% of all produce being sold have some type of genetic modification, according to the website bioexplorer.net. Genetic engineering can also hurt the ecosystem more than benefit it. When all the organisms start to display the same genes, diversity within the ecosystem starts to disintegrate. When there is a lack of genetic diversity, the ability for the species to be able to adapt to its new surrounding becomes vulnerable. The species as a whole could go extinct even if the slightest thing changes within its environment. Genetically modified plants have undergone several studies that suggest that food allergies have become more prominent within the crop. There are often failures to transfer the right gene to the crop, and another allergen can be replaced with the original one. This means a person can become allergic to the genetically engineered crop rather than the absolute natural state of the crop.
According to FDA.gov, genetic engineering is occurring in many types of animals. A genetically engineered animal is an animal that contains altered or additional genetic material. Research animals are one of the many types of genetically modified animals. These animals are purposely made more susceptible to diseases. In some biomedicine facilities, they are creating a technology that allows them to physically create an animal exactly how they want them. This gene editing technology is called CRISPR-Cas9. It is a tool for DNA that allows them to design living creatures on their computers, then create them in real life. They have already performed this experiment to create dogs, and according to the Signs of the Times, or Scott.net, the first genetically engineered superhorse is predicted to be born in 2019. But creating animals in this way raises a huge controversy over the ethics and well-being of the animals. Although other animals are being altered, the most common genetically engineered animals are animals intended for human consumption. These animals are often altered to produce more than nature originally intended. Although this is most common in chickens and pigs, it has also been seen in cows. According to the Federation of American Scientists, the likelihood of someone developing an allergy to a certain meat or dairy product that comes from a genetically engineered animal is higher than if the animal had not been modified. The FAS claims that there may be many problems presented in genetically engineered animals, and that the products of these animals should be tested before any human consumption occurs.
According to Botana.org, when animals and plants grow and mature too fast due to the modification of the plant, the nutrients can decrease in the crop, causing the plant to have less nutritional value for humans. In chickens, their protein can be reduced when they are genetically engineered, which can affect humans if consumed for a period of time. Eating genetically modified plants and animals can also cause pathogens in human bodies to become stronger and more resistant than they originally were to the modification, which creates future health concerns that can lead to unknown diseases. According to bioexplorer.net, changing DNA can create a generation of purebreds. Being able to create DNA of the future humans race can lead to everyone displaying the same features and characteristics, causing a lack of biodiversity. Ohio.edu states that reducing biodiversity will damage the gene pool's diversity in the species population and eliminate potential useful genes that could be beneficial to a new environment. Biodiversity needs to be maintained in all living organisms to again ensure that organisms are able to adapt to their new surroundings and evolve for a future survival for the species.
Referring back to the website bioexplorer.net, modifying crops can make them less susceptible to rotting and diseases, therefore preventing food shortages or extinction of the plant as a whole. Crops can also become more nutrient-rich for the consumer with special modifications to the crop. There is also a possibility in the near future that humans may be able to pick which features they'd like to see in their offspring, rather than taking the gamble of which genes will present as dominant or recessive in the child. But with these benefits come consequences. The grass may seem greener on the other side for now, but the long-term effects will take hold once we've gone too far and there will be no turning back.
Genetic engineering can be beneficial, but with all of the side effects, is it really worth it? Organic may seem overrated, but it is certainly most beneficial food to put in human bodies. By purchasing foods that haven't been genetically modified, you can ensure that what you are eating is the most natural and best food for you. As citizens of the United States, we should petition for stronger laws against the use of genetic engineering to ensure that they are the most beneficial for humans, plants, animals, and all that genetic modification affects.
The government sees dollar signs when they look at genetic modification and not the health of their people. Now is the time for the people to take a stand to what they're putting in their bodies and fight for the rights that should have never been taken from them. The damage these foods have done to people are there but not widely believed because the use of this in plants has been around since the 90s. Other countries such as Russia, Poland, and even Madagascar have fully banned the use of GMOs according to GMO Genetic Literacy Project.org. And countries such as France, Italy, and Germany have installed way more laws against GMOs than the United States.
It is time for us to stop the use of genetic engineering before we find ourselves in a world that resembles a dystopian novel.
Okay.
Biodiversity will damage the gene pools. What?
What?
Well, you're gonna get sentence in there. We're gonna scroll down. I'm ready. Okay.
According to
Just keep going. Just keep going.
Keep going.
Ready?
I'm sorry, this is so weird. Okay.